10 signs that someone will live past 90. If you find at least 3 of these signs in yourself, you already have a better chance than 99% of older adults. Have you ever wondered why some people live into their old age with a clear mind, a light step, and a bright outlook, while others lose their health long before they turn 80? It's not always about genetics or doctors. There are 10 simple signs that can indicate whether a person has a good chance of living past 90. And perhaps you possess some of these signs as well. Listen and ask yourself, which of these 2 people are you? It's morning. The kitchen is quiet. One person gets up, drinks warm water, carefully folds a blanket, chooses fresh ingredients for breakfast, and breathes slowly. Meanwhile, another person jumps out of bed, grabs some pills, rushes for their phone, and complains about being tired even before 9 a.m. The difference isn't in age, but in how each person lives their daily life. And it's these seemingly small details that contribute to longevity. Japanese and European researchers have been studying so-called quiet centenarians, those who live to be 90 and even 100 years old without extreme measures, diets, or supplements. They've discovered something remarkable. These individuals share common traits that appear repeatedly. They are not superhumans. They are ordinary people with a specific mindset, dietary habits, and internal rhythm. Signs of longevity can be observed even at 60 or 70, and you can start strengthening them today. What is longevity? Longevity is not just a physical state. It encompasses a stable nervous system, a healthy liver, regular nutrition, positive relationships, and the absence of chronic inflammation. Surprisingly, these simple factors, which we will discuss, serve as markers to predict how well the body will resist the passage of time. These signs do not appear by chance. They are shaped by our habits. If we ignore these signs, we may miss the opportunity to strengthen our health. And if there are already signals present, it means that there is a system within the body quietly working to extend life. The goal is not to become perfect, but to recognize and support what is already working in your favor. Next, you'll discover 10 signs that indicate a person is likely to live beyond 90 years. If you recognize some of these traits in yourself, celebrate. If not, don't worry. It's a perfect reason to start making some changes today. Our bodies are always ready. We just need to provide the right conditions. Share this video with your loved ones. They will appreciate it. One of the most reliable indicators that someone will live past 90 is their ability to fall asleep easily and enjoy deep, uninterrupted sleep. Surprisingly, studies on centenarians from Japan, Italy, and Georgia reveal that most of them don't have complicated bedtime rituals, don't rely on sleeping pills, and don't suffer from restless nights. What they do have is natural fatigue and a profound recovery through sleep. What happens to your body while you sleep? During sleep, the body doesn't just rest, it recharges. The liver detoxifies the blood, the brain processes emotions, and the immune system rejuvenates. However, this can only occur during deep, restorative sleep, without late bedtimes or frequent awakenings. If a person falls asleep before 11 p.m., wakes up feeling refreshed, doesn't toss and turn at night, and doesn't get up every 2 hours, it indicates that their hormonal system is functioning harmoniously, their metabolism is stable, and their nervous system knows how to release anxiety. These are all key internal processes for longevity. Older adults who maintain healthy sleep patterns experience fewer cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and inflammation. Mr. Tadao, 91 years old, lives in a small Japanese village. He doesn't use an alarm clock, avoids coffee after noon, and never goes to bed later than 9:30 p.m. His day is structured rhythmically: morning exercise, a walk during the day, and a calm dinner without overeating. His sleep is as deep as a child's. This, according to doctors, is one of the key factors behind his longevity. He rarely gets sick, doesn't take heavy medications, and maintains a clear mind. When you sleep well, he says, everything becomes easier to tackle. If you notice that your sleep is shallow, and you often wake up due to noise or anxious thoughts, it's not a death sentence. Sleep can be restored. Start with small changes. Put away your gadgets at least 1.5 hours before bed. Have dinner no later than 3 hours before sleeping, and keep it light and warm. Before going to bed, try warm water with honey, chamomile tea, or valerian root. The lighting in the bedroom should be warm and dim, avoiding harsh lights. If you wake up at night, resist the urge to grab your phone. Instead, lie quietly and focus on your breathing. Within 2 to 3 weeks, your body will start to remember its natural rhythm, and sleep will transform from a struggle into a journey back to yourself. The next sign is immediately noticeable and one of the most accurate. People destined to live longer than 90 years typically have a smooth, calm, and steady gait. It doesn't have to be fast, but it should exude confidence. They move without haste, but with a rhythm. When a person walks softly yet firmly, without dragging their feet, stumbling, or losing balance, it indicates a well-coordinated function of the brain, heart, muscles, joints, and nervous system. Such a stride symbolizes inner peace, outer stability, and is a deep sign of health. Why is this so important? Walking is not just about muscle strength. It also reflects the condition of the central nervous system and brain blood supply. When a person walks straight, without swaying, and with a light bounce, it means that their vestibular system is functioning well, blood pressure is stable, muscles are balanced, and joints are well nourished. It's particularly important how easily a person can get out of bed, sit down, and rise from a chair, as well as step outside without fear. This is what distinguishes true centenarians. According to research from a Japanese gerontology center, the ability to walk for 30 to 40 minutes a day without shortness of breath or anxiety at age 70 and older predicts a 40% higher likelihood of living to 90. Here's a vivid example. Mrs. Clara, 85 years old, lives in the suburbs and goes for a walk in her garden, on the street, and sometimes in the park every day. She doesn't walk fast, but her steps are always steady and light. When she was asked about her secret, she replied, "I don't allow myself to shrink." She has a simple habit: 15 minutes of light exercise in the morning, step by step, and her day starts. Doctors note her stable blood pressure, strong bones, no signs of osteoporosis, and good balance. Most importantly, she enjoys mental clarity and inner confidence. She's not an athlete, but she has a core body rhythm that her body maintains and strengthens every day. If you feel that your walk has become unsteady and you're experiencing some uncertainty, don't be alarmed. This can be strengthened. You don't need to run or push yourself in a workout. It's enough to stand by a wall every morning and do 2 to 3 minutes of gentle foot rocking to activate your muscle memory. Take walks, even if it's just around your home, but do so in sync with your breathing, without a phone in hand. Use a chair with a firm back, sit and stand up 10 times a day, smoothly and mindfully. Always look ahead, not down at your feet. Remember, your gait starts from your head, not your heels. After 23 weeks, you will notice your body returning to its natural alignment, along with a sense of inner calm. The third sign that someone is likely to live past 90 is their ability to avoid overreacting to every little thing. Emotional resilience, gentle responses, and the capacity to let go are not just personality traits. They are crucial indicators that the body isn't overwhelmed by cortisol, that nerves aren't frayed, and that the heart and mind are in a peaceful rhythm. Longevity is often found in people who have a calm inner atmosphere. Why is this important? When we experience intense emotions, even joy, let alone anxiety or irritation, our bodies release cortisol and adrenaline, activating inflammatory processes. These hormones can be lifesavers in critical situations, but when they are constantly present in the background, they age the body, wear down blood vessels, raise blood pressure, and hinder brain recovery. Longevity experts know how to feel their emotions without getting stuck in them. They maintain a healthy distance between an event and their reaction. They don't grab their phones in panic or endlessly replay negative thoughts. They keep their rhythm, allowing their bodies the space to recover. This reflects a strong, calm, and resilient nervous system, and serves as one of the best indicators that the body is coping with life's challenges. Mr. Leonardo, 93 years old, lives in Italy and is known in his community for never being in a rush and for not arguing loudly. When asked about the secret to his longevity, he smiles and says, "I never speak until I've exhaled." He has lost his wife, fought in wars, and faced hardships, but he always says, "If I'm alive, then everything is already good." Doctors note that he has stable blood pressure, good hearing, and clear speech. He doesn't take medication for nerves, doesn't suffer from insomnia, and doesn't complain of headaches. He laughs a lot, but calmly. His body responds to his mood. Because of this, he continues to take walks, read, tend to his garden, and truly live rather than just defend himself from life. What can you start doing right now? If you notice that anxiety, irritation, or fatigue have become your background, start with something simple. Slow down when you talk. Take pauses. Allow your body to catch its breath. In the morning, before meals, sit by the window and simply look at the light, doing nothing. This isn't a waste of time. It's about tuning your body. When you feel emotions rising, take a moment to say to yourself, "I am here. I am whole. All is calm." Even a single exhale paired with this phrase begins to alter your body's chemistry. And importantly, don't chase after being good. Instead, strive to be alive and resilient. This is the essence of longevity. The fourth sign that a person is likely to live past 90 is a moderate but consistent appetite. It's not about constant hunger or refusing food. Rather, it's the natural desire to eat at the same times, enjoying the meal without greed. Interestingly, centenarians rarely overeat, don't count calories, and don't stick to strict diets. They simply eat when their bodies signal for food and stop when satisfied. This internal rhythm is one of the most stable and reliable indicators of health. Why? Appetite is a delicate hormonal mechanism involving the stomach, liver, brain, and even the immune system. When a person eats with appetite but without overeating, it means their leptin and ghrelin hormones are balanced, their metabolism is stable, and internal body signals are not distorted by stress, inflammation, or sleep disorders. An elderly person who maintains a natural eating rhythm has better functioning digestive organs, an active intestine, an unburdened liver, and stable blood sugar levels. Such a person does not struggle with food, but lives in harmony with it. This is the key to a long, gentle, and calm life. Do you have a good appetite? A vivid example is Madame Eugénie, 92 years old, who lives in an old house in the south of France. She has never counted calories, but every day she prepares herself a light soup, a piece of fish or stewed vegetables, enjoys warm bread with cheese, and always has a cup of chamomile tea before bed. She eats 3 times a day, almost on the dot, and never feels heavy or overstuffed. Her doctor, who has been observing her for 15 years, says, "She is the epitome of metabolic stability. She has a normal weight, steady blood pressure, a good appetite, and a clear mind." And all this without diets. It's simply a habit of savoring food rather than filling a void with it. Important tips. If you find yourself lacking appetite but craving everything at once, start by setting a rhythm. Have meals at the same time every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, without snacks in between. Keep portions moderate but appealing. Use a wooden bowl, a cloth napkin, and a candle on the table. Don't eat in a rush. Sit down and enjoy your meal as if you were an important guest at your own table. Incorporate bitters into your diet. Radishes, greens, a bit of lemon. This can awaken your true appetite. And most importantly, avoid distractions while eating. No TV, no phone. Just you and your food. This is how a mindful connection with your body is formed. It's how your body learns to eat to live, rather than to escape from anxiety. The 5th sign, often found in people who reach 90 and beyond, is the presence of gentle, regular physical movement throughout the day. This isn't about sports, fitness, or achievements. It's about natural mobility integrated into daily life. Walking, gardening, stretching, leisurely cleaning, and morning stretches. People who live long rarely sit still for hours, yet they don't overexert themselves either. Their bodies function like finely tuned instruments, maintaining a calm rhythm, and it's this rhythm that extends their lives. What happens in your body when you move? Even the gentlest movements improve blood flow, boost the lymphatic system, and nourish the joints and brain. Without regular movement, blood can thicken, muscles lose their elasticity, and metabolism slows down. Daily movement is like breathing for the body. It nourishes every cell, aids in detoxification, and stabilizes blood pressure. And what's most important? This rhythm becomes especially crucial after the age of 60, when the body no longer compensates for inactivity as it used to. For centenarians, movement is always tied to ritual. They don't just exercise, they live through movement. They open shutters, lean down to grab a cup, walk to the store, and work with their hands. There's no strain in this. Instead, there's a sense of calm, warmth, and stability. Ms. Aiko, 94 years old, lives in a Japanese village and goes outside every day in her rubber slippers to water the flowers, lay out drying herbs, and wipe the floors. She doesn't see this as physical exertion. She considers it a part of life. When asked what helps her keep her body flexible, she replied, "I simply don't allow it to be dead while it's alive." The doctor observing her noted that she has no diagnoses related to the musculoskeletal system. Her blood pressure is normal, her breathing is deep, and her gait is straight. She never just lies in bed during the day. She moves and communicates with her body through movement. If you feel that your body has become heavy or that movement is difficult, don't blame yourself. Just start small. In the morning, while sitting on the edge of your bed, reach your arms up, stretch to the sides, and rotate your ankles. Take 5 to 10 steps every hour, even if it's just around the room, but do so mindfully. Put on your favorite music and just dance slowly, as if no one is watching. Try doing the dishes standing without support, hanging laundry, and dusting with your hands. These are all movements. And most importantly, thank your body. Don't criticize it for moving slower. Celebrate that it's still moving along with you. How many signs have you noticed in yourself? Share in the comments. The 6th sign of a person likely to live 90 years or more is their breathing. Calm, rhythmic, and deep. Long livers don't gasp while walking, they don't breathe sharply when anxious, and they don't resort to shallow breaths, which is often the case with a tired and anxious body. Their breathing resembles the movement of the sea, effortless, smooth, and in its natural rhythm. It's not about training or technique. It's a reflection of how the entire internal system functions. Why is this so important? Deep breathing is the foundation of a calm nervous system, good oxygen exchange, and the proper functioning of the brain and heart. When we breathe shallowly, our bodies operate in a state of alarm. Blood vessels constrict, blood pressure fluctuates, and the brain struggles with a lack of energy. But when our breathing is deep, the heart rate calms, blood pressure stabilizes, and digestion improves. This is why in longevity cultures like those in Japan, Okinawa, and Nicaragua, breathing is emphasized from a young age, not just the technique, but the overall state of being. People who live past 90 years old almost always breathe deeply, especially when at rest, before sleep, or while walking. Here's an interesting story. Mr. Jean, 91 years old, lives in northern France by the sea. Every morning he goes to the shore, sits on a stone, closes his eyes, and simply breathes. He doesn't call it meditation. He says, "I just let the air go where it needs to." He says that when he started doing this, his frequent headaches went away, his sleep improved, and his anxiety disappeared. His breathing became an anchor, a place he can return to at any moment. Today, despite his age, he speaks clearly, walks confidently, and sleeps without medication. His doctors believe that it is his breathing that has been the foundation of his long life. If you notice that you're taking short breaths, often sighing or freezing up in anxiety, don't blame yourself. Just start by paying attention to your breathing. That's already a step forward. Then, gradually. In the morning, before getting out of bed, take 3 slow inhales and exhales, slower than usual. Throughout the day, if you feel overwhelmed, pause and place your hand on your chest or stomach. Feel your breath. Before going to sleep, inhale for a count of 4, pause, then exhale for 6. This helps your body shift from tension to recovery. Most importantly, allow yourself to breathe fully. We often live as if we need to conserve even the air we breathe. But it is in breathing that we find life. The 7th sign that often indicates a person who can live beyond 90 years is the presence of warm, stable, even if minimal, human connections. This doesn't necessarily mean a large family, dozens of friends, or loud celebrations. It could be a neighbor you can sit with in silence, a friend who remembers how you like your tea, or even an adult child who calls once a week. Doing so with warmth, not out of obligation. Longevity is not for loners. They have someone to pour tea for, someone to respond to, someone to live for. Do you have loved ones in your life? Share in the comments. What happens to your body when you socialize? Numerous studies show that social isolation accelerates aging, just like smoking, hypertension, or diabetes. When a person is left alone without regular communication, without a trusting glance, or without touch, cortisol levels rise, the immune system weakens, and inflammation increases. However, when there is even one person nearby to share a laugh, shed a tear, or simply be silent with, blood pressure decreases, heart function improves, and hormones stabilize. A hug, a glance, a shared meal. These are biological supports, not just emotions. They act like an internal safety net for the brain, the nervous system, and especially for the heart. Ms. Lydia, 90 years old, lives alone in a small house. But every morning her daughter calls her, and once a week a neighbor drops by just to have tea and chat about flowers. She may not have a large family, but she feels a sense of connection. She says, "I'm not afraid to wake up because I know someone will think of me today." Doctors note that despite her age, she has an irregular heartbeat, but there are no signs of anxiety disorders, and she doesn't need antidepressants. According to the psychologist, the reason is simple. She feels like she's part of something, not just an exception, but a part of the whole. This sense of belonging gives her stability and inner warmth. If you feel like you're communicating less, making fewer calls, and having fewer meetings, don't shut yourself off. Start small. Call one person just to say, "I was thinking of you." Write a short letter to someone you haven't heard from in a while. When you meet someone, smile first, even if your heart feels quiet. Find your ritual: a tea session with your neighbor, a walk with a friend, reading with your grandchild. And most importantly, don't hesitate to say, "I appreciate having you here." This is not a sign of weakness. It's a formula for life. Words and gestures filled with kindness are what keep the heart in rhythm. The eighth sign to identify a person capable of living beyond 90 years is a deep, unpretentious acceptance of life as it is. It's not about fighting against each day, constant dissatisfaction, or reminiscing about the past. Rather, it's a warm, wise ability to be present with what is, with respect, even when it's challenging. Long-lived individuals are those who don't argue with life. They coexist with it, much like a gardener lives with the weather. They nurture it, but don't blame the rain. When a person struggles with what has already happened, aging, losses, illnesses, and changes, his body lives in tension. The mind sends out a signal of alarm, and the body responds with constricted blood vessels, disrupted sleep, poor digestion, and fluctuations in blood pressure. However, when a person accepts these realities not with indifference, but with inner agreement, the parasympathetic nervous system activates, which is responsible for recovery, healing, and renewal. Cortisol levels decrease, the heart beats more steadily, and the immune system remains calm yet alert. This inner affirmation of life, with all its colors, allows the body to live long without internal conflict. Mr. Nikolai, at 96 years old, lost a lot in his youth: family, home, and the familiar way of life. But one day he told his grandson, "I realized that all I can do is breathe and make tea, and from that moment my life began anew." He never complained about the news, argued with his grandchildren, or grumbled about the weather. He was attentive, quiet, in tune with life. He would say, "I don't like everything, but I accept it all." His body was fragile, yet full of vitality. His eyes were deep, and his days were slow but rich. His doctor said, He lived longer because he didn't try to hold on to life more tightly than necessary. If you find that you are often irritated by the present, anxious about the future, and pulled back by the past, try gently bringing yourself back to the here and now. In the morning, before you get up, ask yourself, what good is already here? Allow yourself to do less, not because you're weak, but because you can hear when it's okay to slow down. Don't avoid sadness, but don't live in it either. Allow it to exist, like rain outside your window. Practice saying, "It is what it is. I'm here, and I'm breathing." Try not to judge each day as good or bad. Let it simply be. Every day you live is already a victory. The ninth sign that a person will live beyond 90 years is a vibrant complexion and warm, elastic skin, especially on the hands, neck, and cheeks. This isn't about beauty in the conventional sense or the absence of wrinkles. It's about having tone, circulation, and an inner warmth that shows on the surface of the body. Long-lived individuals often appear lively, even in very old age. Their hands aren't cold. They have a rosy glow not just in the cold, and their faces aren't gray or dull. This isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of how the liver, heart, circulatory system, and metabolism function. What happens in the body? The skin acts as a mirror of internal processes, especially after the age of 60. When the body functions harmoniously, when the liver is effectively cleansing the blood, the heart is not fatigued from pumping, and microcirculation is intact, the skin remains warm, soft, and elastic. However, the appearance of dryness, coldness, paleness, and a sallow complexion is not just a cosmetic issue. It's a signal that the body is struggling. Japanese gerontologists use skin condition as one of the markers of biological age. The longer the skin remains firm, and the better the capillaries nourish the surface, the higher the chance that internal systems are preserving their resources. This means that a person has not only the opportunity to live a long life, but also to live it well, maintaining comfort, sensitivity, and clarity. Ms. Laura, 89 years old, lives in a historic house in northern Italy. She has warm hands, velvety skin on her cheeks, and a light, vibrant blush. The secret is simple: warm meals, movement, clean water, and a gentle attitude towards oneself. She doesn't use creams, but every day she gives herself a hand massage, drinks herbal infusions, and walks barefoot on the warm floor while cooking broth. Her skin isn't perfectly smooth, but it's alive, just like Laura herself. Doctors say she has excellent circulation, a soft pulse, and good tissue regeneration. This means her body is functioning well, it doesn't give up, and it doesn't tighten up. If you notice that your skin has become cold, dry, and dull, it's not just a sign of aging. It's a call to pay attention to yourself. Start small. In the morning, when you wake up, rub your palms together to warm them up, and then place them on your face. This stimulates microcirculation. Drink warm water on an empty stomach. Not cold, not carbonated, but like an internal tea for your organs. Incorporate high-quality fats into your diet, such as ghee, avocado, and a handful of nuts. Give your hands and feet a massage before bedtime. Most importantly, don't neglect the power of touch. Treat yourself with respect and affection. Because where there is warmth, there is life. And the skin, like a mirror, always reflects this first. The 10th, most subtle, and according to many researchers and doctors, the most powerful indicator of a person who lives beyond 90 years is the presence of a deep, calm sense of purpose. It's not a grand mission or something they talk about every day. It's an internal feeling. I am still needed. I am not just existing, I am living for something. This sense of purpose grants the body remarkable resilience, even in the face of age, pain, loneliness, or fatigue. When a person has a reason, even the smallest and most personal one, their body adjusts for the long journey ahead. The brain releases neuropeptides of hope, the heart beats steadily, and the immune system becomes more resilient. In a state of meaning, the dopamine centers, associated with deep motivation rather than mere hustle, are activated. This could be caring for grandchildren, a love for plants, morning walks with a dog, writing letters to grandchildren, or reading books that one is eager to finish. Even the morning tea that a person makes for themselves with mindfulness sends a message to the body. You are not just existing. You have a purpose. Ms. Agnes, 97 years old, lives in Scotland. She is alone. But every morning she writes postcards to strangers in a nearby nursing home. She calls it, "My little mail of life." Though she has arthritis and poor vision, when she writes, her hands come alive. She says, "As long as I can give someone a morning, I'm alive." Doctors can't explain how, at her age and with her condition, she maintains such clarity of mind, softness of speech, and strength of spirit. But Agnes just smiles and says, "I simply have a reason to get up." If you're not feeling a clear sense of purpose right now, that's okay. It's just a moment to remember what you once cherished. Think about what brought you warmth when you were younger. Is there someone you can call to say a kind word? Write a letter. Plant a seed. Look back at old photos and say to yourself, "I lived through this. This is my meaning." Then ask yourself a quiet question. For whom or for what am I ready to face tomorrow? You don't always need to have a precise answer. Sometimes it's enough to simply feel that there is one. This awareness will become a light within you. Now you know, longevity isn't a matter of chance, luck, or just good genetics. It's the sum of small but steady signs that come together to create a quiet strength. A good night's sleep, a gentle stride, a healthy appetite, warm skin, a calm heart, relaxed breathing, effortless movement, relationships with others, acceptance of life, and a sense of purpose. These are not loud goals, but signs that your body is in harmony with itself. If you recognize these signs in yourself, celebrate that. And if you don't, remember, all of this can be gently developed, step by step. Longevity is not a marathon. It's the ability to notice life within an ordinary day. It's the quiet in your body that you can feel in the morning. It's a warm cup of tea in your hands. It's a walk that refreshes rather than exhausts. It's the capacity to be with others, even in silence. Our goal is not to chase youth, but to get closer to ourselves. Everything we've learned from these 10 signs is not a list of demands, but a map that can guide you at any age. If you feel like you've missed your time, stop. Nothing is lost. All that longevity requires is presence, here and now. Start with one sign, one step, one calm exhale. Even if you decided just today to pay more attention to yourself, the process of healing has already begun. Your body remembers everything. It doesn't hold a grudge for the years. It is always waiting for you to be in harmony with it again. Choose one trait. The one that resonates with you the most. Don't try to do everything at once. Just incorporate one movement, one ritual, one mindful breath, one walk, or one cup of tea with awareness. You'll notice that the others will naturally follow. Your body is like a garden. Water one seedling, and the rest will thrive. This isn't about breaking records or proving anything. It's simply about being present here for a little longer. In clarity. In warmth. In silence. Imagine yourself at 93 years old. Not as a superhero or a champion, but simply as yourself. With clear eyes, a gentle stride, warm breath, with rituals that sustain your day, with a body that, while quieter, still pulses with life. You open a window. The tea has cooled. But inside, everything is just beginning. Because you are in tune with your own rhythm of time. This is true longevity.